Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We find ourselves in the Warden's cellar. And we have an appointment with the Warden himself. He doesn't know it yet. Barging in on his schedule, but we're here to tell him that his reign is at an end. He will be defeated. And to do that, we are sporting our legendary Devil's Cage Hauberk. Last episode I did mention that we could equip it, but had to shuffle some components around. This grants us 99 fire resistance, some health, some defensive ability, a reasonable bonus to physical and chaos damage, as well as internal trauma damage, and a little bit of fixed physical damage. +2 to Warcry, so we have even more range on that. And +3 to Sigil of Consumption, my favorite occultist skill that we can't use because we are not a occultist. And it grants us Devil's Cage, which has a 100% chance to trigger when we get hit. Triggers, it has a recharge of 10 seconds, lasts for 5, in an area of 3 meters. It will encase all the monsters in obsidian, doing damage to them, physical and chaos, as well as lowering their resistances to physical, vitality and chaos resistance. I had to shuffle some components around because we got so much fire resistance now. We no longer needed molten skin in our helmet, so I replaced that with a spined carapace. Boosts our retaliation as well as all of our retaliation. Similarly to our body armor, we got the same one in there. And our legs now have a silk swatch, which gives us piercing resistance as well as bleeding resistance. So if you look at the resistances, we're 60 plus on all the top rows, 70 in bleeding, 42 in vitality, and 30 and 20 in ether and chaos. I would say that is pretty decent. So this is the obsidian cage that gets cast by our armor. It affects all monsters in an area, so if you are completely swamped when it triggers, we might actually end up encasing a room of monsters, or in this case this was the guy that triggered it, so it was just him. Especially if you are more surrounded by things in the same room, then it's gonna help, and it's gonna just increase our damage output. It's gonna give us a little bit of safety, you could say. So there's a crumbling wall here. There's actually a lot of secret passages and tunnels in the Warden's cellar. Serrated spikes, nice. So these spined carapaces, they drop very, very infrequently from wasps. But the materials you need to make for them, battered shells and what was this again? Serrated spikes. They also drop from wasps. So if you find yourself wanting those, just go farm wasps. I actually ended up going back to Veteran and farming all the wasp nests in the Act 2 area, where surrounded by all the cowboys. And it's a pretty nice circle. So I usually still start at Old Arkovia. You follow the path down. There's a single wasp nest there. Then you port over to Twin Falls, and Twin Falls has 2 wasp nests. One a bit to the left and one a bit to the bottom. So you can just make a nice circle, clear all the wasps. The wasp nest areas actually do scale around Twin Falls. They scale up to level 50. So even as a level 50, you're still getting good experience and drops there. While the Old Arkovia ones, they top out at, I believe, 36. So it's less useful to go there. But no, go to Twin Falls, clear all the wasps, go back to the main menu, start the game again, do it again. Run it a couple times, and then you'll be drowning in royal jelly. And I've now got more royal jelly than I can shake a stick at, throw a stick at. 33, that's an insane amount. So that's good. Also, you might be now wondering, why is there purified salt and an ether crystal there? That's a visual reminder for the devotion shrine that we will be encountering over here. And that one needs to be purified with those ingredients according to the wiki. So if that information is still accurate, then we are prepared. If not, I'll feel slightly silly. Ooh, a heroic Garminix, the regenerator. And here you see an example of the stuff hitting enemies, multiple enemies. The obsidian encasing, that is. So a regenerator is an interesting case because it's basically a perfect counter to us, because we are also a regenerator. Also, something is doing a lot of damage. I think we'll focus on dealing with the extra enemies. So they are doing a lot of damage here. Oh wow, regenerator is actually a regeneration aura. That's nasty. It keeps the other ones alive, therefore debuffing us and all that stuff. So let's see how you do once you no longer have any friends. Bit sad, he doesn't have any friends anymore. But well, I don't think his friends were any good anyway. So we're just doing him a favor by killing all his friends and then killing him. And now it seems like the health is slowly dwindling down. So, as always, in case you have issues dealing with a hero, just kill the ads. Then focus on the hero yet again. The obsidian encasing does help quite a bit to keep it in place, because these things they tend to have a little bit of a coward AI. They might run away. This way you prevent that from happening. And now we are back on our merry way. Just charge in here. Ooh, that was a nice one. Beholden the reflective. Oh no, this is another kindred spirit. You reflect the damage we deal at you, but the thing is, it's not my damage that you should be worried about. It's the damage you do to me that I reflect back to you. But this does count as a battle of attrition. So I took some time to update the skill trees linked in the description below the video. I think last video had the new ones already, as well as this video. Updated for patch 1.0.0.7. Grimkalk, the website, grimkalk.com, the website that I use for build planning, has been updated for patch 1.0.7. And it now has a new link format, which actually includes the version that you built it for in the link itself. So that way it will always keep reflecting your original intentions. Let's see. Overguard. Less damage from undead, a bunch of extra health and physique, and a tiny bit of vitality resistance. Increase current vitality resistance by 34%. So that is all the vitality resistance we already have increases by 34%. So we have 42% here. Not entirely sure. Yeah, we have 42%. So this is going to be increased by 34%, which is a third. So that's by 14%. That's interesting. I like the mechanic. Also 12% to all pet health, which is not relevant. Overguard. When health drops below 20%. It grants you 80% damage absorption for 5 seconds. So this is a death prevention item. In terms of health and resistance, this could be interesting. It has a very high block chance as well as good block recovery and block amount. I'm gonna consider this. This is considerable. Yes, I do like the wordplay there. Okay, I remember that room. It is not happy to stand in. Also, we have a bounty active here. We've had that bounty for a while, but it hasn't been relevant yet. And I suspect it's gonna get relevant once we get around here. Somewhere in the Warden's cellar, there is going to be a Null of the Frostbound who we need to slay. So, poking around a little bit. If we have to find a Null of the Frostbound, then it pays to clear things for a bit. But if you don't encounter the bounty, that's okay as well. There's always a good reason to go back in here as a warm-up or something. I think it's the transit that had a really big hidden spider lair, which is something I do want to show you. But I think we don't really have to go back here just yet. We can actually move onwards. There is a way around here if you are not really fond of going through this corrupted area. The damage it's okay. We can deal with it. And oh, there is Null of the Frostbound at level 54 summoner. So this is gonna get interesting. He summons flesh warps and butchers,
That skill's not
which
ready.
are okay. They are a bit tougher than your average zombie, but not overly tough. And we'll just slowly keep chopping away at him. So as I mentioned, I've been going over the build, doing some theory crafting, updating the links in the footer. We are going to invest a couple more points into our offensive skill tree. Because, well, it helps to actually do damage against single targets that are not attacking us as often. Our reflection is very good for dealing with groups, but single targets, a bit tricky. So the points we assigned into the Counter-Strike, they will remain, but I think there's going to be another point in the passive ones, another 2 points in Fighting Spirit, and another 3 or 4 points into Cadence. Over here, Vindictive Flame and Ulzen's Wrath. I think they're going to remain 1-pointers and just let them get carried by plus bonuses to skills. Flame Touch is going to be a 1-pointer, and once we have Blast Shield, Temper and Blast Shield are both going to get maxed out. There's going to be a lot of damage that we get from Temper. The 4 to 16 physical damage, it's going to rise every level, as well as all the percentage bonuses, as well as the retaliation damage. So this is going to be a good source of damage for us. And just boosting Cadence and the other triggerables, it will help us boost our damage overall. But for now, I first want to get to Blast Shield. So the next 5 levels, we are simply going to increase the amount of points we have into the Demolitionist tree, making ourselves even tougher, boosting our life, boosting our energy, boosting our stats, and getting to the final skill for this build, which is going to be Blast Shields. I'm very curious to see how that works out. Against regular mobs, it's not going to trigger all that often, because they do need to deal over 2,500 points of damage for us to actually get below the 75% health threshold required to trigger Blast Shield. And scrap. Yes, please. Lots of zombies everywhere. But these are just regular Walking Dead. Why do you keep popping up? There's no summoner here. Hey, I've had it with you guys. You can just stand there. You're too slow to catch up anyway. Let's see. So down here we have in the underground transits, we have a waypoint to grab, or I was going to say the ruin shrine. We already got the waypoint. You start next to the waypoint. But we have a ruin shrine to grab, and then we have another interesting appointment. Also there's food here, which means there's going to be a secret area. And there is a spider lair, which I think is somewhere over to the side. I remember it was adjacent to the area with all the rodents. I think they're rodents. Those spiky things. They're like big rats with spikes. Kind of comical. Because there's actually a rather large network here of just secret areas all connected to each other. And there's going to be a pretty major spider boss in there, which I'm very curious to see how tough it's going to be on this difficulty. So let's take out the trash here and then have a look at the ruined shrine. See if we can restore it and get ourselves another point. Oh yeah. And indeed, purified salt and ether shards. The things are still up to date, and that gets us a skill point. Or a level, I mean. As well as a blue item. What's the blue? Fiend Blood Spellblade. This looks almost like an upgraded version of the lower level one. Interesting. Bonus to pets. 31% to all damage, 4% of attack damage converted to health, and 11% to health. This is the first time I've seen attack damage converted to health for pets. Very interesting. This gets bonus to chaos damage, health, defensive ability, and +2 to Ember Claw. So if you dual wield these, that's going to be a very nice boon to minions. Though dual wielding requires you to probably double class with the Nightblade or pick up a specific item for that. So I'll just put it in with the general bonus to items. And the ether shard is going to go back to where it came from. Good. Hey, wait. Devotion points. So many things happening at once. Here we get extra movement speed, which is good. Next point is going to be 25% damage reflection, which I'm really looking forward to. Also, we gained skill points, which I said we're gonna use to advance to get blast shield. We're only getting 2 points per level now that we have passed level 50. So progress is going to be slowed down a little bit. Abandoned storerooms, yes. Gonna be a bit of a search, but I see all those spider webs. There is a reason. There's a really extensive tunnel network. Eventually we know we have to go somewhere to the top left. So the general direction is working out. Just have to find out the specific details. And here is... yeah. I think this is the tunnel. So from the shrine, head left, and then wiggle your way through. There's a number of rooms, and there is a big boss spider. Well, this is not it either. Was there... I know it's here, somewhere. Was even just branching and stuff inside of the tunnel. So this is just another connecting tunnel. Could be that we're just winding around it and eventually we'll find the proper secret place. But no, this is yet another one of those things. I keep saying it and I keep meaning it. I really like the level design of Grim Dawn. I think it's one of its strengths actually. That it has a fixed map that is not randomized. The replayability is...
I can't do that yet.
On one part just from trying out different builds. And on the other hand, it just comes from just discovering and rediscovering all the secrets in this world. There are so many secrets. Ooh, bugs. Okay, so if I were a smarter person, I would probably have consulted a map or something before deciding to
Can't do that yet.
undertake the quest for the spiders. On the other hand, where's the fun in that? Going down here. There's just so many things you can do in this game that It's nearly impossible to plan for all of them unless you are really, really well organized. Which I am not. I tend to be rather impulsive. Way more fun in that. I'll start out with a rough idea. And then fill in the details as you get to them. Let's see. This is a tunnel. There are spiders.
That skill's not ready.
Okay. It's a series of connected paths. Well, it's just a big tunnel. This is not what I was looking for. Right. And let's bank on it being a bit further ahead. If you look on the map, oh, there are outlines here of rooms and things. There. Okay, I can't leave it alone. I really can't help myself. I really can't help myself. There's stuff all over here in the outlines, and there has to be a connection from here to there. To Spiderland. Okay, back into the tunnels. Okay, so these are the tunnels we've been through before. Oh yeah, dang it. Okay, let's move on and see if there's more tunnels ahead. Am I looking at those things too early? Could be that I'm just looking for them a bit too early. Of course, we have the Warden cellar. There you get the underground transit, and then you get the laboratory and such. Always go for maximum carnage on these ether crystals. They're a reliable way of getting crystals for yourselves. Might as well just farm them, so to say. Or you can actually farm them. No. Go here, clear everything, and then start the instance again. Combine that with Warden's cellar waypoint or underground transit waypoint, all the way up to the Warden himself. Also, just look at the sheer size of our Warcry. We're level 10 now. It reaches basically all the monsters in sight. And I think that's enough. And these guys there's a lot of them. Okay, there's more doggies or rats or whatever they are. Ooh, a spider, not the spider I was looking for, but it's a spider that we will settle for. And then in the next areas, we will keep looking for spiders. Yes, this is going to be probably going to be an extended length episode. Hunting for spiders and for the Warden. I do want to finish the Warden. But I want to pick this up. Yes, it was just so tempting me. And that was the spider. And he didn't even drop decent loot. But, oh well, can't always have everything. Like to always have everything, but you can't always have everything. There's a unique there. I might as well just take out the crystals here to limit the amount of reinforcements they're getting. Trigger everything. Now just really capitalize on our AoE nature and then go after Darlax, the Dreamer of Dreams. Did I read that correctly? Devourer of Dreams. Yes, that is way more sensible than a Dreamer of Dreams. So, parking ourselves next to the boss, surrounding ourselves with mobs, and not really focusing on the mobs. pretty good strategy, because that way the mobs hitting us gives us more chances to trigger Counter-Strike, which of course is a reasonably large AoE. That will also hit the boss and then will degen the boss. So. As long as that strategy, as long as there's add-ons, that strategy will work. Takes some of the pressure off of you for killing things yourselves, because the damage from Counter-Strike is substantial. Okay, so double checking this corner over here. This is all just solid walls, yeah. And we move onwards. Another crystal. Okay, they're doing a lot of damage. That's of course because there's a bunch of casters there. We are now respected with the outcasts, which gives us access to another quest. And it gives us access to more blueprints, I think. So back in Veteran, we can now access another... Probably we can actually access the first tab.
I can't do that yet.
Also, in all likelihood, that is the thing that grants us access to whatchamacallit. The quest for the Bastion of Chaos. I think that's it. So we're outcasts here. Faction discount goes up, access to the bounty table, and some new quests. A lot of the quests for the outcasts focus on you crafting items, so oftentimes you want to hit that next bounty button quite often, because it's rather expensive to craft all those things. So you might not even have the blueprints to make those items. But there's a couple of kill quests in there, and those tend to be doable. There is another waypoint up ahead. Yeah, okay. I think I was a bit too early in looking for spiders. It's a bit further ahead because it's actually a branch off from the laboratory area. This game, it's so large, it's so detailed. There's just so many secrets. You can't possibly keep them all accurately in your mind all at the same time. Unless you got a really good memory, which I don't. I tend to work way better with just context triggers. Just recalling the right information at the right time. If I'm lucky. If I'm not, then I don't recall it. Or I recall it vaguely, as we are now. Yes, there are spiders somewhere. Exactly where? That was a good question. Okay, this is shimmering and doing lots of damage, so we just want to get out of this room ASAP. Let's see, we have 2 unique zombies to take care of here. Gavbrand and his other buddy. There are bounties for killing those guys. So if you're in the area, that is a bounty that you could pick up. So the bounties, you don't get access to all of them on every cycle. I think they just pick like a dozen or so different bounties that are available for you in every instance of the world, every time you restart the game, so to say. So if you burn through your bounties, just go back to the main menu and go back in, and then you have access to a fresh new set of bounties. Also, the path is there. I think we got enough here to make a little bit of a stand, kill some things, get some XP, do all that good stuff. Okay. Now we push onwards. Hello there, Gavbrand. Over there. Ah, yes, there's the door. There. Here is the door as well. Let's do a war cry, focus on the boss, and then the add-ons should take care of themselves. So nice that damage reflection or retaliation builds work like that. That you can completely shrug off add-ons. And the more add-ons you have, especially with Counter-Strike, the more damage you will be doing to the boss. But I have to say we are doing decently. Oh, for a tanky slow build like this is decent killing speed. Yes, I know it's not over the top fancy quick, but then again, not many builds have over 9,000 health at this stage of the game, or if ever. Okay. So that was the first zombie. Then we go down, and then normally you would push to the top. In this case, because we are looking for vermin, we need to go back up here. And then we need to go down there. Yes, 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 yes. It's coming back to me. Well, take care of this electrified zombie first. So you're electrified, but I don't think our health pool truly cares about that. Also, I don't like the ether corruption that's being thrown at us. Let's take a step back here. Overseer, stop being annoying. Okay, this goes way better. And there we have more green stuff. Probably getting to the point where we are pretty full. Okay, second tab. We still have some space. Okay, that's good. We go back here. There's gonna be a staircase. Up here. Yep, yep. And then down there. More spiders. We have been walking around a large area. And there are some secret entrances into it that we have just to find. Is there one? There's a tunnel here. Ah yeah, see, this is just open. It's an ominous lair. Ooh, what could be hiding here? What could be hiding in this ominous place? I think I kind of spoiled it already, right? Ooh, an exalted sash. And did you catch it from the corner of your eye as well? I did. There are multiple heroics here. Let's see, this is just a dead end. Hope it's not going to be a dead end for us. Waha! Over there is Herna, the Dread Widow. There's 3 heroics here, at least. Let's get out of the poison, shall we? Okay. Yeah, 3 heroics is what we get. I think it's going to be very, very important to deal with add-ons and such as well. Not standing in the poison is going to be pretty good for us. So Reckless the Leaper is going to be the easiest one, because it will just follow us and it's a Lair. And we have a shielded Larna the Fate Weaver. And we have Herna the Dreaded Widow. Whom I expect is responsible for all this poison stuff. Okay, so Leaper out of the way. That's one source of damage. Direct damage that is out of the way. A little bit of poison doesn't hurt, but a lot of poison definitely does.
Can't do that.
Okay, the shielded one seems to be the toughest, so let's take that one out last, because if it takes a long time, then the other ones have a time to continue attacking you. but I think at this point we have things mostly under control. And Line of the Fate Weaver has mostly been
I can't do that yet.
dealt with as well. There you have it, triple heroic spiders, all dealt with. Also, some blues dropped. Let's have a quick look what we found. The right hand of Carnage. Probably combined with the left hand of Carnage. Oh, it does make sense. This gives us +2 to Whirling Death, some piercing damage, some cunning, some offensive ability. This doesn't look like it's for us. This looks more like it is for the Nightblade. Praetorian Face Guard. I believe we did have another piece of the Praetorian set. It gives us, it's level 50 and it gives us a bunch of health and defensive ability, armor absorption, attack speed reduction, retaliation, which is the one kind of retaliation which we don't want. Because monsters attacking less often means they take damage less often. But still, physical resistance and ether and chaos resistance for a 3-piece set is not bad at all. But we cleared 3 bosses. Now we can pick up the cocooned remains. It's kind of interesting that the exalted stash is outside, but you're probably meant to approach this from the path down here. And then there are cocooned remains. Yeah, we're past half an hour now. So as I said, it's going to be an extended length episode this. But looking for these spiders, I think it was worth it. This is something that I think I discovered this when just doing some farming with my Arcanist. Just accidentally stumbled upon it, and that's my third
That skill's not ready.
character. And it is a pretty massive area, but multiple entrances. Also, we are facing another heroic, so this is 4 heroics in a single pass. Okay, I think I should stop trying to knock down the spider, but the blitz damage is pretty decent. So that's an interesting trade-off between doing extra damage. Okay, so man, are we loaded up in gear. Also our first ether cluster. We never actually picked it up from the dude. From Crowley in Act 2. So I wonder if we actually ever did that or if we picked a different reward. The ether clusters, it's consumable. It grants you a boatload of damage absorption for 8 seconds. So it's like a panic button. Now that we are playing hardcore, a good argument could be made for actually equipping it. So I'm just gonna sell all the yellow items without even looking at them. Because, well, chances are they're not gonna be any good anyway. This is for a different kind of build, so that's not useful either. And we'll just put the green items into... Oh, that was a green cast item, don't really care. Cast item, level 53. We are pushing slightly ahead of the curve. Or the curve pushes slightly ahead of itself. Those were challenging spiders after all. Hatred of King. So we're not really gonna evaluate most loot, we're just gonna pick it up and... Alright, we'll just take the 3rd tab and put everything in there. Why not use the shared storage tab? Because it's mostly full. This game definitely has an issue where just too many things drop. This is good for safeguarding, keeping, and yep, that's good. Okay, pockets are empty. Yeah, let's continue with looking for the Warden. We have cleared the ominous lair. Also, we made pretty good cash here, selling all those items. Made us at least 25,000 iron bits, in addition to all the iron bits that dropped, of course. It's a combination of both. Our turtle shell is now rank 15. All those skills, they keep leveling up. And okay, now we need to find ourselves a way out of these abandoned storage rooms again. Normally, you actually would normally pass by here on your way to this bit, which just gets us to the final area. The inner laboratory. Just iron bits. We have one more unique zombie to kill, a couple more ether clusters to wreck.
That skill's not ready.
And then the Warden himself. As is becoming a little bit of a habit for Grimdawn, this is an extended length episode. But there's always just so much stuff to do here that I do think it is worth it.
That skill's not ready.
And the natural stopping points for Grimdawn tend to be a bit further spaced apart.
That skill's not ready.
So far, no, the views for the episodes are good, and I haven't heard a single person complain like, "Oh no, your episodes are too long." So
Can't do that yet.
I guess by now, all of you who are watching this, you enjoy this, and you don't mind the extended length episodes. So it's all good. Zenbrand, the Ascended. And the thing is, of course, if I hadn't gotten slightly lost looking for spiders, then we probably would have chopped off a good 5 minutes of the episode, but that would still leave us with an episode of 40 minutes or so.
That skill's not ready.
And all the interesting bits were in the last section of content. Tainted brain matter, it's nice, it's a rare drop. Some ether crystals here. And you can just push forward, but it's always better to just make the circle, kill the crystals, which are really tiny crystals, by the way, compared to the ones we've seen before. You would expect them to get larger, like, oh, this one is slightly larger. And then there is the door, the iron doors.
That skill's not ready.
That separate us from the Warden. Okay, there we go. Honey, I'm home. Wait, you're not my honey. This is not home. Just position ourselves here. Make sure the minions are standing next to the Warden when they trigger our counter attack and things like that. Our health is fluctuating nicely up and down. I mean, there's no real need to trigger something like an Overguard until we are, say, below 6,000 life. Get a good habit going of triggering that 75% threshold. Also, let's not forget to use our Warcry. Warcry itself doesn't do much against bosses because they have a very, very strong resistance against life reduction effects, because otherwise it would be really easy to cheese them. But of course, we have our damage reflection bonus attached to Warcry because they have similar timers. Therefore, it is useful to keep going. We have a passive heal from the Dryad triggering every 5 or 10 seconds or so, attached to Cadence. So we're doing pretty good there. And this is the first stage of the Warden. And, well, gotta do. Oh no, this one is still locked because we need to defeat him in his second stage. And there's more add-ons. In the second stage, he is a bit more angry. does more damage, tends to attack a bit faster as well, if I remember correctly. Every once in a while you see flames lashing out or lightning lashing out from us to those zombies at a distance. That is our looking for the word, our this one, Vindictive Flame. It also has a chance to knock back and various utility things. But on the whole, I used to be pretty excited about it, but now that I reconsider the other options that we have, I don't think that the aura is as important as I once thought it would be. So we might even unspec those 2 points, get some energy regeneration in return, and pick up something else. On the other hand, no, there is a little bit of passive life regeneration that you get from it, so as long as energy is not too big a deal, you might as well keep it up. This is a boss that we can't knock down or knock back, so we can actually chain all of our active abilities. Something that with heroics they can be knocked down. These purple bosses, they are their own category. They are way more protected. Of course, this is just a battle of attrition. Warden can't touch us. We will slowly whittle him down. And there we are. Cloth of Unspeakable Invocation. Also, we are getting a nice number of green items here. We haven't even opened the treasure chest or the armor rack. Nothing here. Warden's chests. Oathbreaker and Tainted Brain Matter, another one. So let's have a look. What we get? The Cloth of Unspeakable Invocation. This +2 to Doom Bolt. That's an occultist thing. Bonus to chaos damage, fatality damage, chaos damage, energy. Wow, that's a lot of energy regen. And here, Oathbreaker. Part of the Oathbreaker set. You get Oathbreaker and Oathbreaker's Guard. I believe we have Oathbreaker's Guard. So that is a pistol set. Interesting. A pistol and a shield, if I remember correctly. Oathbreaker, granted by the item, fires an explosive round teeming with dark power. Activates off of the default weapon attacks. Interesting. So that's something to keep in mind for when we go with a pure demolitionist build. Might be useful to play with that. But for now, we have 2 quests to hand in. And then it is time to move on. First, the minor quest. Report in the bounty. And we get some reputation and an Evil Steel Bolt fragment. And then John Bourbon. Yes, the Warden is dead. Long live the Warden.
So you must be the kid that's high.
You are sending us onwards. Understood. We're not really interested in what you have to tell us, because we've heard it all before. And we didn't really care a lot back then either, because that was the umpteenth time we played through the game. But we can unlock the bridge and go west, but there is a boat moored over here, which should take us to the island over there, which will tell us a little bit about the origins of the Nagas. And I don't think we have played through that one in one of our series yet. So while doing a warm-up, I encountered the boat and I figured like, hey, that would be interesting content. So next episode, the origin of the Nagas. And after that, we're gonna move onwards and facing the cowboys. But for now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.